Alright, this video I'm going to mount it's a Prepcision wall mount, magnetic gun rack, or gun mount. Looking for something for inside the house. This may or may not work for everybody. This will let you mount your gun externally with a magnet on a wall or somewhere like that. Today I'm going to be using a Glock 26. The firearm is empty. There are no rounds in it. Chamber's cleared, gun is safe, and there are no bullets within 30-40 feet of where I'm marking at and not in the same room with me. So they have a pretty neat little commercial. It looks really good. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure yet. Whether it'll work for your particular use or not, don't know yet. So we'll take a look at it and we'll see. I'll give you my opinion on it. It looks like it comes with a little bit of hardware, some different length screws, some wall dogs. I don't know that I would use plastic wall anchors if I'm mounting my gun on the wall. The last thing I want to do is go grab my gun off the wall and the whole magnet comes off the wall with it. If you don't have a stud behind the wall where you're going to put this on, go get some toggle bolts or something a little bit more durable than plastic wall dogs. If you're just going to put it on the wall for storage, like if you don't plan on actually using this as it's intended to be, that may work perfectly fine. But again, for me, I want to hit some studs in the wall to make it work. So the whole premise behind this is basically this will go on the wall, in your car, wherever you want to mount it at. The gun fits in there and it clips to it. So as far as magnetic goes, car bumps and stuff, unless you hit a gigantic pothole, this is not going to come off there. It stays on there really well. Seems to be a pretty good magnet. All right, so the premise behind this is to stick it on the wall or wherever in your car, up under your dash, wherever you want to keep it at, so you can get to the gun quickly if need be. So I'm going to take the clip out because if you have a Glock or most other weapons, when you get to the last round, the slide's going to lock open, so I don't want the slides lock open for demonstration purposes. Again, the weapon is clear, no bullets are in the area. So to mount this, wherever you mount it at, your gun will go in. You set the pistol down on there and you tilt it up in, and the magnet will hold in place. Very strong magnet. Gun's not going to fall off. It's not going to just drop out of there. If you hit a big bump, pothole, something like that, it should still hold unless you hit a gigantic bump and it may fly off there. Depends on how good your shocks are in your car too. If you got a really rough ride, or if it's a sports car that rides rough, it's going to take some more jarring, but it should hold for almost any normal vibration that you have. Now again, this is a Glock 26. If you're using like a 17 or something like that, a lot heavier weapon, you just have to try it and decide whether it's going to work for your big gun or not. Now since I'm still working in the garage and painting and doing some touch-up work, I don't mind poking a hole in my garage wall for demonstration purposes. But you know, one of the videos they show, this is mounted by a bedroom door, so you can mount this by your bedroom door, by your front door, wherever you want. If you have children, of course, don't mount your firearm anywhere where a child can get a hold of it. You also have to remember too, if a perpetrator gets into your house, if you've got a gun right by the front door, they can grab it just as fast as you. So what I want to do is I want to take the gun, and I don't want to mount it way up here where you can't see it off the camera, because I don't want to have to try to push down and then pull back. I want the gun down lower, about where I would holster it. So when I take it off the wall, I can cock it and pull it up and be ready to shoot. So I'm going to actually put it right about where the doorknob is. And again, I'm going to make sure I hit a stud in mine. If you don't have a stud where you want to mount it, again, use toggle bolts, don't use the plastic wall dogs. Something else to consider too when you're going to put this in, the hardware that comes with it, it comes with some plastic, or not plastic, I'm sorry, sheetrock screws or sheetrock style screws. The metal is probably not the best metal in the world. You could probably go get some stainless steel screws or something a little bit harder. That way, again, it doesn't break off. I don't think it should anyhow, but just in case. And if you don't know what's behind your wall, make sure if you're screwing in the wall, you don't drill into a pipe, electrical wire, or anything like that. And again, I'm just going to sink these into the studs because I know my door's framed here. My light switch is over here, so the stud is right here on this wall. So I'm going to make sure I get it into the studs. And again, I'm just putting this up temporarily, or I would change my screws out also. So 4 screws onto the wall. Reposition the camera there where I can get to it and you can see a little bit better. So basically your firearm, when you get done, or when you come home at night, or if you're just going to store it there, sits on the wall. So it's right by the door if you need it. If you do need it, you press down and pull it off, and you're locked and you're loaded. So you've got a round in the chamber and you're ready to fire. Get in on the wall. So again, you can leave this unloaded or without a round in the chamber. Some people don't feel comfortable with a round in the chamber. Me personally, I keep a round in the chamber all the time. But if I was going to mount this by my bed, I would not, just because it's there for some reason. Somebody does get a hold of the gun, they can't shoot themselves without racking it. But again, gun on the wall, down and out, and your gun's in your hand, locked and loaded. So practicality, it seems like a pretty good thing. Is it going to scratch your slide up? Probably. But I can't imagine you're going to use this to draw with every single day of your life. So as long as you're careful when you put it back on the mount, if you're going to take it off the wall for that reason, there's going to be more pressing things in life than worrying about scratching your gun. The other thing you can do is you can also just pull straight back and take it off there, so you do not have to rack around. So let's say you just need a place to store your gun when you come home at night. You can pop it on the wall, take it on off. It comes on and off a lot easier. It takes a little more practice getting used to doing that. It looks good. The first couple times I did it, it was really fumbly. But in this case, after a little bit of practice, you can get the gun off the wall. Again, keep it down low enough where you can press down and still draw. You don't want it way down here where you've got to lean down to do it, and you definitely don't want it up high where you can't get to the gun. So stand against the wall and just imagine locking around, and that's where you want to mount it at. The other thing this could be used for, if you have an office, you could mount that up on your desk, lock and load, and again, in your vehicle. The vehicle, to me, is not as practical. My work van, I've got enough space underneath the steering column, I could mount this and work it. But like my truck, my cars, there's not really a good place to mount this where you could push straight forward and lock it. You have to turn it in like towards the inside, and you're just not going to be able to lock and load it that way. So as far as vehicle storage, you would have to have the right vehicle and the right space to do it in. Me personally, it's not going to work on my vehicle, so I've got another video that I just did on a holster mounted mount, so I can take my holster off and drop the whole holster into it. Anyhow, I hope that helps somebody out. Thanks for watching. I give that about an 8 out of 10 to start with. Again, seems to be very practical, comes with the right hardware, sticks to the wall, you can easily lock and load just as well. And again, the size of the weapon you're going to put on there may determine. But until you get up to like a 17 or something bigger than that, I think it'll work just fine. And one last thing to note, again, this is just a small sheetrock screw. So I'm already using about 1/8 of an inch of it to go here. Your sheetrock's a 1/2 inch thick most of the time. If not, you could have a 1/4 inch mobile homes or a modular home, maybe 5/8 in a bigger home. So basically, you're only going to get about a 1/2 inch thread that comes with these into here. This probably will work fine on a piece of plastic for a vehicle. Again, I'll use a toggle bolt on a vehicle, but if you're going to put this on your bedroom wall or something, at least get some longer sheetrock screws. And again, I would switch them to stainless or something like that, so you know you're not going to break them off if you push that down in a panic. It's a lot easier to push it down now, but if you're panicking, pushing it down, you might just snap the whole thing off the wall.